built. I'm gonna do this antique vibe with that. This is a door I built to cover the fuse box in our little apartment we rent out. I'm gonna try practicing on this before I do the big one. Here are the different paints, chalk paint that I've made up and the recipe I used. Of course, this one I did 32 ounce paint, 24 and 24. So, you know, you gotta do the math to figure that out. Crackle medium, the final glaze, Vaseline, plastic bag, all my instructions, paint brushes, paint scraper, paper towels. I'm gonna try to give an example of how to do this and see how my first try at this goes. The gal said to use cheap brushes. It didn't really matter. She says you don't even have to worry about getting it in there exactly perfect, which way you go, because in the end it's not gonna matter. We're making it look old and rustic anyways. So the first coat of paint is on. It's this brown color and it says to apply it, let it dry, but you know, kind of a little tacky. And then I use my paint scraper to kind of scrape some of it off. So I guess that's basically what we're doing here. We're just gonna do the whole thing. Dang, I didn't leave it a couple minutes. It's almost 70 degrees today here in Kansas. Hers looked a little more different after the first, but then she was also going on top of a polyurethane existing piece of furniture. I'm doing this on a brand new build. So this is the base coat, where she had a base over a base, if you will. So I'm sure in the end it's going to be just great. Next is to add a crackle medium or crackle glaze. I got this one at Hobby Lobby on March 11th of 2025. That's what it cost. Amazon, didn't know when they would have it in stock. Lowe's, didn't have it in stock. It was really hard to find, and I found that Hobby Lobby had 2 of them, so I went and bought both of them. So don't plan this project last minute like I have when you're on a deadline to get some doors hung. Think ahead. I'm gonna try that one of these days. Now they say when you apply this crackle medium, not to be too specific with it, because something that's aged won't be. I don't know. So just put it on, let it dry, and then you put on your next color. And the thicker you put it on, the more cracked it'll look. Hey, it's what they say. I don't know. And I just put a little in the bottom of this, and I still got quite a bit left. So a little goes a long way. Now to let it dry. This is the second color. She said to not let the crackle get too dry, just dry to the touch, which, okay, it says, because of crackle, do not paint over dried paint. So if it starts to dry, don't go back over it. When it's mostly dry, use the scraper and lightly scrape some off. Very lightly, mostly where there is no crackle. Just putting it on, and as you can see, it's already starting to get that antique crackle look. Next, I'm gonna scrape kind of where the crackle isn't. So you're just supposed to kind of lightly scrape. I probably put too much of the crackle stuff on, I don't know. I don't like it though. So, whatever. Hey, this is your thing, man. Do what you gotta do. You know, she did say that she sharpened her paint scraper. Oh yeah, this is hard to do, but you need a paper towel for the scraper. I wadded up my bag, put some Vaseline, and I just kind of rubbed and wiped. I'm not supposed to do the whole thing, but just wherever you don't want the next coat to stick on too well. I guess worst case, if you don't like it and you've wiped it all off, you can add a little more of the top coat. I don't know, she didn't go into that, but it's just my thoughts. I just thought about each paint as you went up was gonna have less water. When I made this one and I did the math, adding 24 ounces of paint, it went rock hard with plaster of Paris in it. So I had to add water until I could get it back to a paintable consistency. So I don't know if I did bad math. Highly likely I did. It beats me. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not sure how much it's gonna matter. We're gonna find out at the end of the day. Well, let's see what happens here. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let me get a rag. You kind of get the gist of what I'm doing here. So the Vaseline is really cool, and you just lightly wipe it off. And this one I had the crevices, so I kind of wanted to make sure to get in there. I am really happy with that. And I need to let this dry a little bit, and then we've got one more step, and that's the glaze. There was a recipe for that, but I had bought a bunch of chalk paint and glaze on clearance, and you don't use a lot of it. So I have this that I bought out of a little shop as they were closing, and I'm gonna use this as my top coat glaze. And we'll get into that here in a minute after we let this dry up some. So you get a little bit of this, a little dab will do you. You get it on your brush and work it wherever it is you think dirt would be setting. And you can kind of put it on the other spots if you want. And then just sort of wipe off the excess. And if you think it needs more, give it more. If you think it needs less, give it less. Everything about this is like, how do you feel about it? Do you like it? Don't you like it? Going over the fuse box. This is going over the bathroom door. It's going to have the sliding barn door kit on it. I wanted to practice on the little one before I did this, and I've been kind of letting the sun and the heat cool down a little bit so I can have a little more grace time to work with it. But hopefully that big dude is going to wind up looking similar to this. I'm pleased with it. First try. First time for everything. Like I say, that's kind of how I made the chalk paint. That third one I ended up having to add more water because it just turned to solid pretty quick on me. I don't know if that means I didn't put enough water in the others or not. Not sure it mattered because in the end it came out the way I thought it should.